Thus I have heard. At one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of Vulture Mountain, with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomena called profound appearance. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva, "How should a son of the lineage train who wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom?" Thus he spoke, and the noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva answered the Venerable Sharadvati Putra with these words, "Shariputra, those men and women of the lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look at it like this. The five skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness, and having no characteristics, they are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomena. There is no quality of sight, until no quality of mind and no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so on, up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no ending, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of the profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. They attain nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell on the three times have relied upon the perfection of wisdom, and have become true and complete Buddhas of unsurpassable, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, or it is not deceptive. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Teyata om gate gate paragate parasam gate bodhi soha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and said to the bodhisattva mahasattva, noble Avalokiteshvara, that he had spoken well. Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra and noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva and the entire gathering, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One.
Kanda sibi tsara mari mi don don yen jizumbi rozo kyun la buji dozi yan la zhuji yan de son do da ji do ni mo ni long jia don zhu zi jin Mari me se dong e nyo go chi ni chun ze re zhe na de ne do ji sa ji da zi yin de le zo jia se do ye go ye zha ji da ji ni jin zhe da le min se jiang be yang la di Om Arabazana Di Om Arabazana Di Om Arabazana Di Je Chen Ra Ze Je Dali Di Mo Mi Ba Ra Se Ne Kadang de je jong lo do ba yi lo de bo bi na ze do so. Page. Short of it.
Okay, page 18.
Page 80.
Page 18.
Lam Rim Teachings, Je Tsongkapa de shi do je chang, cho zi de lo bo dan na ro ba, ro bin bo dan a de shang, nyang ne shi lo je la so wan de, shang ba tong mi yin ni na zhe de, cho de 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 dan zha bin bin. Sin za ge sa le ni su lin ba, ya jin shi bi ji la so wan de, yang yan yu mi shu ji lu zhu dang, da wa zha ba ri bi ku ju ji, san ji gu jung pa ba ya se su, sa ma da wi ji la so wan de, Dhamma bi chong a de shang, ka dang din bi mi bon zhong den je, nian jo na je gu chi song la su, ka dang la ma na la so wan de, tang jin shi de zu ji zong ga ba, mo do ri bi wan shu je ca je, Bang a din bi da bo ke zhu je, yao se ju ba che la so wan de, jiao song gun de la ma do je chang, gang la gang de xin nian ce zong ne, de mo ngu zhu zhen zhe bin, chen jie la ma na la so wan de, Rang jiao song ra gun la da ye mi, ye zang ta ban zhu bin zhong zhu, zai yu zhi bin da gen zai ba ye, sun zai xin nian na la so wan de, jie wo gun du yang da na ma dang, zhi mi chu jin bin la long xie jin, sa dang lang ji yin den ra zo ne, do ji chang ge gu yin to shu, sang ji chu dang so ji chang na la, ma du da ne ja su ji, da ge chi chi ji bi so na ji, zho la pin xie sang ji zhu ba shu, sang ji chu dang so ji chang na la, xiang chu ba du da ne ja su ji, da ge chi chi ji bi so na ji, zho la pin xie sang ji zhu ba shu, sang ji chu dang cho na la, xiang chu ba du da ne ja su ji, da ge chi chi ji bi so na ji, zho la pin xie sang ji zhu ba shu. Tanga zo chue chi nye jawa la yin, gyung kan ri chi yu chue chi nye jago ri sa la wa yin na sa na ta.
when receiving and giving the teachings of the Dhamma, so what kind of motivation one need to cultivate it prior to receiving or the giving the teachings of the Dhamma?
Chö jawa la ni soso ki myu gore, chaji gore la da.
So speaking about practicing the Dhamma, we should have an objective and a purpose of practicing Dhamma.
Myu de chaji gore re sana ani dongye se ta re sa. Dongye se ki myu gore sa.
So objective of the Dhamma, practicing Dhamma, is to overcome suffering.
Dongye se sana rani ki ndewe ki dewa zhuyi tanda la.
So what is meant by overcoming suffering is to achieve happiness that we always seek.
Tendri ki dongye se de rani chikwa ki dongye zangje ma yin ba. Ta yebi sanje tangje ki dongye se to de rani le yawa yin san de yu tanda la ni nge chwe chi ni che ki yin se de.
So speaking about overcoming the suffering, so we're not speaking about overcoming suffering of one's own self, but also overcoming the suffering of entire sentient beings. And we all possess this wonderful qualities and potential within us to overcome suffering of other sentient beings. So therefore, one's overcoming of suffering is not limited only on suffering of one's own self.
나 tendri ki chwe de ka chi ni che ki chwe de tenpo po se re sana ni nga su ni dong nga ja nga la tenpo tu byang bo de nga su ki chwe tenpo po yin sana ni tenpo tu byang bo ki shen nga la ni nga su chwe de chi ni che ki yes.
So then, since we are engaging in the practice of the Dhamma, so in order to engage in the practice of Dhamma, one must receive the teachings of the Dhamma. So when speaking about receiving the teachings of the Dhamma, and who is the teacher that teaches the Dhamma? So when you ask this question about the teacher, so then it will trace back all the way to 2,500 years ago, the Buddha Shakyamuni, who taught these teachings of the Dhamma.
Tendri ki tenpo de rangi ni miensan tenye la mi pa che an di yu di la nga su ni nye shi cho su yin gangje chi ni zhonglen yi tsu jiro wa che ki yin se che.
So therefore, at this moment, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni before oneself, at the level of one's forehead, and imagining that you are receiving the teachings in the presence of the Buddha Shakyamuni.
Di yu tanda la ni tenpo la mi pa kama song yi chi che yin da.
So let's focus our mind on the visualization of Buddha in front of oneself, about 3 to 4 minutes.
Ta rangi miensan la ni tenpo tu byang bo de lo ni du nga ja la mi pi tenpa ten dun chi yu sa ni kun che pa na ye chi ngu su che rangi miensan yin den je na ka tenye la ni mi pa che na gangja de ro.
So visualize Buddha Shakyamuni before oneself at the level of one's forehead, and imagining that not just visualizing this as a statue, but rather it's a real in-person Buddha Shakyamuni who lived 2,500 years ago.
Di dengi rangi da nga su ma ka he chi ku ma yin ba ni ta rangi ten che pa ma zebe ta ye san che nyang de yu san ni mi ba ja che ra don de la na gi ke sun ja che wa yo ro.
So therefore, again, you should not visualize being yourself, only yourself, in the presence of the Buddha Shakyamuni, but you yourself is surrounded by entire sentient beings.
다 되게 결론 치바 제정하네. 니 간센바세 이전에 니 상주 란저린 바스.
With such motivations, on the basis of these motivations, the teachings you are receiving today is the Changchub Lam Rimpa, the stages to the path to enlightenment.
니 상주 란저린 바세데 토마스 소마르잖아. 니 냐 단지 시와나 예 다제 템바 투병보이. 손바레스.
So this teachings, what is known as Changchub Lam Rimpa, the stages of the path to enlightenment, and who taught this teaching? Who taught these teachings, and who is the one who gave these teachings? So when you ask this question to yourself, then the answer to this question is the Buddha, as we mentioned earlier, who came to this human existence 2,500 years ago, more than 2,500 years ago.
맞죠. 변이나 추대 푸자마 이메데 추푸데 강라토네 추대 푸자마 저그레스. 대나게 추기 푸투세데 상제라 두고 와라 나가서 남비 지자체와인데.
So we have a saying in Tibetan, whether the river, the purity of river is made on the basis of whether or not the river can be traced back to the snow mountains. Similarly, the purity of the Dhamma must be traceable to the source of the teaching itself, which is the teachings of the Buddha.
보드 자가게 벤로 난저송 땡라페 아니 가네 냐네 전에 또바라질라 촌동이겠죠.
So then, this teachings of the Buddha is later practiced
자가지 벤도다.
and upheld by the great Indian masters and pandits.
아니 되네 아니 배줄라 자와나 진짜 아니 벤르다 나지 다지체 아니 죄메 바네 니 진이 요라제네 땡 보이지.
So this is then translated by the great Tibetan translators into Tibetan, and not only that they have translated, but after translation, after they have completed their translation of their text, and then analyzed by all those great scholars. And once all of them unanimously agreed that it's a pure translation, which is then published and accessible to all the practitioners.
저도 한번 로지 된저도 자가기 벤르바인 벤저다 인생에 계시 배시 장샤야나 데 벤저다 용수 줘발라 다지체 죄면나 용다체네 된라 배제 죄여나 추잉아말라 다네 좀마 당셔도.
So there had been a tradition in India, whenever who would like to, compose the text, or who would like to, write the commentary of the text or the teachings of the Buddha, and having finished their commentary, it is then again, analyzed by all those great scholars. And if all of those scholars and great pandits and the Indian masters agree upon his or her, commentary, writing the commentaries, then this will be agreed as a treatise, and later this is distributed and practiced and studied by the great scholars. And if it is not qualified, it is not, it is not agreeable based on his or her, commentary, then this will be. It is said that this will be, will tie to the, the dog's tail, and then this kind of rejection, very bad rejection of his own.
저는 nga tsu kosu pobi yungde samba boso na ni pyo kanje yo na ni jangon Lam Tsongkapa chenpo se ni ta nga tsu kamchen shindi su Je Tsongkapa se ni to batun jagre ro.
So then that particular text that we are dealing with today is actually written by the Lama Tsongkapa, who is also a pioneer of the teachings of the Buddha in Tibet.
다 원은 디기 가르시 샤워서나 아니 센데도 소송 샤워.
So what is the subject matter of this text after all? The subject matter of this text will be entirely on how to subdue one's own mind, how to control one's mind, in other words.
다 깨쳐 카두시나가 대리네 상제사바도 간주도 고르잖아. 랑용수도 버텐샤르로. 안 되네. 상제사라 간주도.
So in brief, the text, the subject matter of this text it will really give you instructions to guide yourself right from the beginning all the way to the state of enlightenment. The progression of your path, spiritual path, beginning from now all the way to the state of enlightenment.
다 딘리지 중들 체냐 간데 제거사니 다니가 순도 만도야 다 아니 강제에 뜻이니 취니 영어로 개마지로.
So then this is then be practiced by the cultivation motivation that we talked about earlier, and visualizing Buddha Shakyamuni and being oneself in the presence of the Buddha Shakyamuni and so forth.
당가 중무진도다. 아니 중무질라니 자와데 있는 런치 자와 신이 된비세다. 된 런치 다장 비림바니스 담방고처럼 한번 짓다 드리는 바세나. 중 간디질레 천이 제가는 자와데 가르세나. 아니 런치 자와 신이 된 때네니 간저도 그래서 때 중기 무진 런가 되죠.
So whenever we go through those the great texts of the Dharma, you will always find in the beginning is the sequence in which the disciples are to be taught the actual instructions. And this will then be subdivided. They will find two subdivisions of relying upon the spiritual teacher, and having relied upon the spiritual teacher, how you train yourself on the path of spirituality. So regardless of what kind of studies that we may be undertake, it is we all agree that we need to have appropriate or the qualified teacher from whom we can receive the teachings.
맞아 가디는 라니기 자기 좋아지 당하이나 철허제 허정 간데 제거해서나 동방에 개개 비다질 때 아니 개개의 송바 간송바 되는 쳇다와지 라네 또고 생이 머질려는 몇 세대네 로저 제도 세대.
So what kind of the person, the characteristic of the person is needed to be a practitioner is first one must have a strong the firm determination to relying upon authentic teacher. Having relied upon the teacher, then one must have a strong determination to follow the instructions of the teacher. So this is how we actually normally begin to engage ourselves in the practice of the Dhamma.
당연히 사정해 주셔고 다 넘방은 절로마 지다저 이름바 라니로 라지 자와신이 된비세다 때내로 지다저 이름바 니다 동부리사 다 때내로 지다저 이름바 니 대이 때라니 볼렘비시 그와도 니버 지다렘비 수니리 다 동부리사 다 니버 지다렘비 수데라 니리 나지 나자랑에 바치세다 니볼렘 승어리 다 동부리사 다 니볼렘 승어데라 손리 주부 중년도 도모연 나지림바 냐선린시 주변 된다 대모인 나제를 많이서는지 주변 챔비언 나제를 많이서는지 다 동부지자 다 주변 된다 대모인 나제를 많이서는지라 제리 주변 중에 쟁게 삼바장왕의 대지비체 텔로로바도 봤어요 타바다 대주변 나제라지 되나 봐봐지 다 대노예니 동부라니리 타방어조한테 대지비 터래 다 대지비 터들라니리 동해 덴바다 긴주 덴비고네 상바당 덴데 연라 진유고네 상바 니인지 다 동보지사 다 덴데 연라 진유고네 상바 생이되래 다 가서 단단 내세대 가네도 고아생이 되는 내도요 아니 델레탑이 더 가려 델레 타고그래서는 타고그래 델레탑이 더 가려서나 아니 덴바 니지 동해 덴바다 긴주 덴바 니지고네 상바당 덴데 연라 진유고네 상바 니인지 디노 가서 덴데 연라 진유고네 상바 아시
So we are at this particular time that we are on the chapter that deals with the 12 links of dependent originations. And so here now the reason why it is important for us to know about the 12 links of dependent originations. So then you should ask the question to yourself, what kind of existence that we have right now, where we are. When you ask these questions, we're in the cyclic existence, in other words, the samsaric existence. And how can we free ourselves from the samsaric existence when you ask this question? And there are two possible answers to it. One is to reflection upon the sufferings and the origin of sufferings. And another one is the reflection upon the 12 links of dependent originations. And at this particular time, at this particular point, we're dealing with the 12 links of dependent originations.
티 깨차 가리시고 선으로와 단단가 잠을린데라 간지전에려오리 나 아마 파만이 얘기되는 성장의 간지전에려오리 아니 나서 열로 통도 이 소장 무슨 된로도 간지전에려오리서 라와이나 도스려오리서 송고야라와
So here what actually teaches this 12 links of dependent originations is it really teaches us how we have taken rebirth within this secular existence and given birth by one's own mother. Not only that myself, but also entire sentient beings, including insects and so forth, how they are coming into being, how they have taken rebirth within this secular existence.
던리 깨치시오데 제단디 텐데 양라 중에서 텐데 세소나 영업인에서 텐라 파싱마도 출루지게 따와 깨쳐 말이라다.
So here one thing that we need to understand, important to understand here is when speaking about the dependent originations, we're talking about the fact, the given fact of existence. We're not really talking about based on some kind of belief or the religious belief or the religious philosophy. But rather, we're really talking about the fact, the reality of existence.
대성가서 세리인 잠벨네데 간데 차샤 아니 로아 메생인데 간에 용서 간 토마 간에 용서해야 돼. 따지 지워라.
So just like the scientists would always contemplate on analyzing the finding a fact, going through all kind of process of finding the fact and reality, such as how the world's coming into being, and how things are actually exist. What is the mode of existence of the things and events and so forth. Similarly, when speaking about the Buddhist standpoint, when speaking about the 12 links of dependent originations, we're actually finding a fact, and we are talking about the actual existence, mode of existence of things and event.
더 주쟁이 줄라 따지 제외디 대비로기 추몽복의 대상에게 주쟁이 줄라 따지 제토거라와 던지지는 엔엔드네 종사세에 치지로와 다 오늘 던지기 타투어디 토마 간데 종사세는 게시오디 이니 다시는天상산도 도바질레고.
So when analyzed based on the physical reality, so we can analyze and we can even come to conclusion of such certain objects, how long it has been, the evolution of this particular object. We can trace all the way back to the thousands and tens of thousands of years. So then, when you ask another question, it's a subtle question, that is, how that then when that particular object or the phenomena is begin to form or begin to coming into existence, then it is pretty, the question becomes a little confused.
다 든지기 타투사지 레레디 줄루기 따와 베제도네 카히겐지 된 셰보버스 칸네 아니 남바겐이 레생이 시바생이 켈렌로라.
So then when this kind of question arises, then the different religious belief system has a different answer to it. There are some who would say it is created by the God, and there's a creator who created this particular existence, things and event, and then there are some religious belief systems such as Buddhism are referring to the karma, the cause and effect, and then talks about consciousness and so forth.
다 가서 거스 봐봐 아니 간제 레드 시바생이 제선장에서 간제 거스 봐봐 던지지 된라 페네니 제세다 다지진의 시고하다.
So now our way of understanding of how things are coming into being is based on the understanding of law of cause and effect, or karma, and consciousness.
다 던지지 놀라 가서 시에디 던지 연락 중에 있는데 시에디 아니 저서 라라지 마시나요? 저서 같이 사봐야 된 지금 말이. 던지 연락 중에 있는 게 통만 말이 봐. 나 생이지 가서 라신지 강갈 요래다 현재지.
So out of those 12 links of dependent originations, the ignorance is the first, the starting point. So now, what is meant by ignorance here is to point ourselves, believing ourselves as an I or self.
나 세디 이니 나츠쇼 아니 코츠쇼 생이게 아니 여지 셔요.
When speaking about I and self, when we are conceiving self or I, that really belief of or the perception of the self or I leads to them, I and others, me and others.
아니 나츠쇼 생이 될 때서 자치와제 아니 소소 마가쇼라 베트 마가비 난주테 아니 저와 간에 명이질 여와도야지.
So based on that kind of belief, when speaking about I and mine, we have a natural tendency of having attachment towards. And when speaking about the others, we may have we will have aversion, or we have neuter, feeling, the feeling of neuter feeling towards them.
오늘 딘디기 넘버 셰데니 소소 노예리 아니 다가랑 레베스라나.
So then you ask yourself, is this really wrong to think about?
딘디세니 아니 소소라 산나도는 하세디 내단 가르치는 하세네 차기도. 되면은 하생이 죄는 논도래. 이제 다질에 템바 상점마도 템보 명행이 가르고 진도서는 리고 얼다. 마소기 So
now, here the question is now, whether your perception of self is a right or wrong, or depends on the manner in which you actually perceive yourself, or I. When you perceive yourself someone who is independent, who exists in and of itself intrinsically, then that is a wrong way of perceiving yourself. But when you perceive yourself, you see that yourself as not independent, but dependent upon other factors, and dependent upon others, and that too is in the nature of impermanent. Then your way of looking at self, or your way of perceiving self, is said to be correct. So then, I would always say that most of our way of looking at self is mistaken.
아니 노메나 아니 저랑 영화생인데 주피되는 따지잖아. 간지질은 거지 저게.
If it is not mistaken, then you can ask the question to yourself, where is the self or I? When speaking about I, well, how can you actually identify I? Where is that?
다 한도고 인세 그래. 한도데 가이 주본도고 인세 한도고 인세 거라. 가이 단다기 도도데 가래면도 코는 깨체 코는 니 주보슬라고요. 로 제바셔요도 하다. 깨체 코는 셔요.
So we have saying that I'm going and I'm sitting and I'm engaging in such and such activities and so forth. So then here the question is now, where is that I who always seems to engaging in certain activities, going, sitting, so on and so forth? Because the body that we have, the physical body, the aggregate that we have, it certainly is not I. Because when we're speaking about the body, we do not say the body is I, we're saying this is my body. So there's a possessed and possessor.
다처럼 이 주부되는 따지 지체다. 한세세의 간지질은 생기도 상시 간지질은 차기도.
So then now the next step is to now analyze what is the existence of the self or I. Where is it?
다 딘드지게 놀로라 저런 이 땜부 수위지다 차부 수위지 인하여인데 딘드지 요사레베살라다.
So is it really exists the I or the self that we normally perceive, something that is concrete and something that can be pinpointed and that actually exists in and of itself?
저런 싹 채셔도 돼.
That this is something that we always, treasure and take as, if we consider as the most precious thing that we always cherish ourselves, right? So is this, where is this? We always tend, we have a natural tendency of cherishing that particular self. Can we really find that?
인치 미지대 따지지 리빠기 따지적으로 만들어 그 로기도 레스에 지는 말에 이 정도로 까져 나오고라다. 대성가서 남비 진라이네.
His Holiness always encourage us to not to just to follow and believe, but rather try to use your own intellect to analyze this, applying reasonings over finding this, the self or I.
라바도 데런 얘기 싸지 뒤에도 이차랬어. 니 파지부지니 제레서 다랑 줘야 돼. 뒤에서 이차래. 배때 따지셔야게 뒤에서 랑래서.
It is a time of analysis. It is not a time of just this is such and so has said, or so my ancestors and my parents have said that, and this is how they believe, and I'm going to believe that. This is not the actual way of following the teachings of the Buddha.
다 처리기 딘트리기 짜치면 전에 같이 이때는 예제 매와이나 아니 현생이 질라 아니 걔네 차동수 좀 가르치는 저게 여와 가르치는 저게.
So if there's no such I or the self that exists concretely or independently, then why should we have aversion towards others? Why should we have attachment and aversion?
딱 내가 가르치고 올세서나 무비 내시 영하데 메시와잖아 메싱에 달라 말이 봤어 그래 메시 봤어 그래 말이 봤어 그래.
So what I'm saying here is now, what we are not knowing, not understanding here, is we are not knowing the reality of the self, actual mode of existence of the self.
메시게데다 말이 비 나고진에 되도요나 파수 감바저 로네리 레카크치는 녀다 지속으로 할라다. 제당년 가서.
So since we remain under the darkness of ignorance, so then wherever we, whatever we do, we will come across with complications.
양라 준이게 토마텔 마리바 미시바스라 그래라다. 동보텔.
So out of 12 links of dependent originations, 12 links of dependent origination will explain, beginning with the explanation of ignorance, or the marikpa.
다 마리바드 메시베기 미코노 고윤된도 더자진도 와라다.
So just the name itself, the marikpa, in Tibetan, which literally means ignorance, the name itself is not really desirable, right?
다 메시베 온게 가르쳐거래 아니 랑쇼라 데비 차단전의 레지사 아니 다 진쇼라 양 차단전의 레지사 아니 바말레 여와도네 레지사네 딘드기 레달라 니반디시 칠레스라 그래.
So it is because of this ignorance we have attachment and aversion, and then the neuter feelings towards others and so forth. With this kind of attachment, aversion, and neuter feeling enables us to engage in the actions, and that kind of actions is what is kind of action is known as the second dependent originations.
딘드기 레데 아니 나시 때라 바차자기 아니 셰바 생이지 케 말레니 제네디 말이라다 저단 셰바.
So then that kind of karma that you have committed, the karma that you have committed, action that you have committed, will leave a propensity or the latency. So when speaking about the latency, then there's we cannot explain the latency or the propensities without explaining the consciousness. The latency is actually kept on the consciousness.
베나 슐로기 힌두다 잘라서바 대달라 슐로기 중화진로는 그런 중화 규조 당국도 알아다. 슐로기 힌두라서바 대다 로아 중화기 젠제비 젠체네 그 규조 당국도 알아다.
So if you look at the external phenomena such as trees and plants and so forth, it is their sustenance and their existence are dependent upon the four elements. It is due to the four elements they sustained and then have a movements and so forth.
So then
So when it comes to someone who possesses consciousness, it doesn't really depend much upon the external phenomena, the external elements such as four elements.
지체 가르르세서나 아니 던드기 초비 소푼 대에 놓으라 아니 규조동에게 메시지여다 그러와.
So there is one particular there's one particular mechanism that exists within the psychophysical aggregate as a human beings or the sentient beings, which enables person or the beings to have a movement.
되게 니빠텔라 남비존의 타니지요디 콜 남시 세리스라 그래.
So therefore, that kind of mechanism is said to be, in the context of the Buddhism, is a consciousness, or the clear, clear perception.
딘드기 맞서 로정제디 가르켜송여래서나 단다기 차는 가서 시리데 미시비기 미바 단지 말이 비지 생활던 전에 모비 미바노는 수되라 시리 로정 제병원기는 시리데 향스 세요디 시리데 용수도바 세요에 지지여래라다.
So our clear awareness that we all possess within us is actually predominant, is dominated. It's a dominantly, empowered, in other words, by ignorance. It is through one's studies and your practice will be able to clear this darkness of ignorance and letting this clear awareness manifest.
던드기 시리데 저항하면 되는데 시만롱에 시리 로 디든데 단지 마리바기 레야산에 바차되기니 제말에 야른로도 두른로세데 아니 레데 야마체.
So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this clear awareness is the one that actually transcends from one life to another life. So this And this clear light, so the clear awareness, is also said to be a repository of your actions, whether it is positive or the negative actions.
Tentuki led ye chen Pamani ye kundul, and Thomas Unidal Sissegarsana, Dedi Janashi tende Sumbatil.
So then, based on this kind of actions, when the first consciousness that actually enters into the mother's womb is said to be a resultant consciousness, dependent origination of resultant consciousness. Sorry.
Tentuki Nashi tendici near Cassici Gilatoro. Pena Pamani Sanka Pakaza, Kanje Pama in Dopatem, but Sanji Pugumachabi, Jense Carres law in the Roa, John Rogin Casjilaiba, Dada, that Siri Inga Kapa in Angel Ketcha in Sondusa. And Tendici Puguchagman do Carriere said, and the Chagmare Sondusa, and Chacha Karamanza said, and Del Nes Missiki Mendoza, Nagati Chagura.
So then, now, just the couples engaging in sexual intercourse will not guarantee for having a child inside, right? So then His Holiness had raised some questions. Why this is not happening? Then the answer to this question by some point of scientists would say, we're not very sure about it.
Tating Matsuki, Tananga here you Matsuki Karashigore, two young in Rabode, and Nanshi tended the Ami the Mashu Pato, and Kasiki and Kachashi Chanaya, and Pugini and Chagamar Salagri.
So the explanation from the Buddhist standpoint about it is the consciousness is needed. Without conscious entrance of the consciousness, it's not possible for for the mother to have a child in their womb.
No, Pamala sopa Tam Kanje Pama Bontala sopa Yebino, Pama Tindici in some Karajan Jagars in the Tual Coyundi, and that ledge on your power sitting near Patukur.
So then the question is now, there are a lot of parents or the mother's womb where the consciousness can enter. So it's a lot of choices. And why the consciousness actually chooses one particular mother's womb? When you ask this question, then the answer to this question would be a karma. Whoever has a karmic relationship with the parents.
That Tundigi Aming at the Shumata Somba, the Dijan Nashi Tendechi, and Dijal Kare, Soamare, Somba Soa inside, Missouri. Any Aming at the Neshun in it, the Tachis Maze contest, there's a Gijoton, any Matsuki Ben the Pumbo saying it to Roa, Mishi Pumbo saying it, there's a Gijoton and it to. Any Dijala Swatu, any Tiswate, and Mother Repatu, any Rebejala Swatu. Mari Chinchitu, any Rebatu, Mari Swatu, any Rebatu, any Rebijala, Garre, and Sepa the Lamba Shucher Rola. Because I'm in such a pound in Mashipat and Roy, tended Tata Lata.
So, right from the beginning of one's mother's home, then consciousness enters into the mother's home, and then all the way to the 12 links of dependent originations. It's all progressively developed one after another. Once you have engaged in certain actions, whether it is positive or negative actions, which lives in propensities or the latencies within the consciousness enters into the mother's home, will then develops into the name and the power and the form, feelings, contacts, source of perceptions, craving, grasping, becoming, aging, death, and birth, aging, and death, so forth.
There's a low in that. There's a low in that. Because I'm Ludu is a labor. There's a low in that. Because I'm going to do it. No, because God. gomu ludujiro ludujesa sombo tale ninjung des ni le denjung denle chang songju sibi kolo te ni ne yang ne yang to ko xie song so song do ti lo da an ngon ta.
So let's go through the text. Now it's 323. 323. End of the second paragraph says the master Nagarjuna says, in the heart of dependent arisings, right? From the three arise the two, from the two arise the seven, and again from the seven arise the three. The wheel of existence itself perfectly turns.
당아서 코아생이 될 메타와데 가르치는 코고르잖아. 아니 송레 니조세데 송보 덴데 양라 진영이 통미 마리바 제바세바 고발렘바 송보데 녀모 송보데레 송보데 세데 녀모 송데.
So from the three, you're right, we talked about three refers to the ignorance, craving, and grasping. Those are the three.
다니 쇼세데 니반 양라 니반 디시제 레당 지바시비 레니 보데레.
So then the two, from the three arise two. Two here refers to the actions, the volitional act, and the tenth becoming, the 10 links of dependent origination, which is becoming.
되니 보데 레로 알아달래.
So those two are the karma. Those two are said to be a karma.
송보데 녀모로와.
The earlier three, ignorance, craving, and grasping, belongs to the afflictions, mental afflictions, or the delusions.
당아보텔라 동해 덴바다 균준 덴바 니지고네 셴나 균준 덴바로와.
So those five are the origin of suffering, actually.
됐지. 다니엘의 덴주세데니 가르레 제디제 나시제 덴데네 가시발 덴하고요와. 디 덴보데 단다 레년이 용화세디 다 따다래기도 와. 텔레 덴종세디. 니레 덴종세디.
니레 덴종.
니레 레니레 시빌레 가르레 양라님 디제데 집에 시빌레레 아니 양라 제마데 용으로.
그래서 단다 니디 단다
니데 레니 전주 만도.
So then the form two here refers to the two again, the karma, the two kinds of karma. But there arises the seven. So now, if you look at those seven, are the result of the five afflictions and the karma. The three are affliction and the two are karma.
다 디보텔 송조세디 대용으로 동해 송디 종으로 동해 송지 진짜 매반나세디 가래 동해 주유 동해 처반되지 동해 송보데 다 나나바로 귀생어도 로친체라.
The form the seven there arises three here refers to the three kinds of suffering. The suffering of change, and suffering of conditioning, or the suffering of pervasive suffering. Yeah.
다 딘디지게 간제 레니 영어도 로친체라 괜히 덴보데용 양 레니사 양 덴보유네 간제 콜로데 코에네마도 디젤 타금도.
So long as we remain under the dominations, under the control of karma and afflictions, we will not be able to free ourselves from this cycle of existence. What is known as cyclic existence or the samsaric existence.
되게 맞죠? 얘네들 콩 전부 쉬지로 나로. 다 배전 잠을린데 놓을 세고 나오지라 배전 고물로가 내지 말이로. 미지 샤줄라.
So I would confidently say that there won't be anyone who is as sharp as Nagarjuna. The way he defines things and the way he actually, if you look at all his, treatises and philosophical, texts, when you look at him, it is outstanding, thought-provoking.
딱 속에 이 치산들 콩도산들 가려서서나 로아 콩도에 대 재미 콩도 그래로 세마기 너버면나 콘센버레다. 세면 너버에나 켈레로고 말이다 가지.
So now,
가데 제나요.
so regardless of how beautiful, teachings that may be, the teachings must be, validated by the valid cognitions. If the teachings cannot be validated by the valid cognitions, regardless of how beautifully articulated, this cannot be taken as a literally. We cannot take this text as a face value.
지왕하시 생각도보다 레전드스도 몽초가데 이치지 달라되네 참아제고로.
So here, when speaking about the previous life and future life, and then law of cause and effect, this need to validate it by relying upon the reasonings, what we call the reasonings of convinced faith.
롱 참말라 되네. 이치지 따들라 양 롱라 되네. 아니 이치지 참아제여로. 아니 롱데 손바 보들라니 참이지부. 되게 손비 롱들라 롱 참아제. 아니 될라 예비니 리바 참아.
So then we need to rely upon the textual reasonings, in other words, again. The textual reasoning must be, again, given by the valid being. So if the textual reasoning is given by the valid being, and that the reasoning must be valid.
This person shall
take it break here.
This Malot and Doida. Thank you. Tani Gombo Ludu, the gauntlet, Siki, the old Siki, I was showing you the quad they were huge.
So, the verse that we have read through by Nagarjuna, it's a very, comprehensive, right? So it's very lucid. So.
시송 소지 대답이 주죠 코 참바 산나네 니 조이 조도 줘봐서 조도 줘라서 깨빠빠도 면바네 게미게위 레사비 편지지 레나 남의 마준시 네보 마주바 나장아서 다디실레 주스다나 대용기 denro 당연로 참바다 다장바라야 혼소수 주의 뒤스 사비 편지절레 당련대 봐 예장 녀모범에 코알레 주비 출랑에 받템보니네 녀모라 드라존네 고발라 좀바 제원 저로 송도 어데스 디바트 송도 주다.
So let's read through the text here. When you reflect on your wandering in such a way through cyclic existence, the 12 factors of dependent arising are the best method for generating disenchantment with cyclic existence. Contemplate your projecting karma, the virtuous and non-virtuous karma that you have accumulated over countless eons, that has neither issued forth fruition nor been eradicated by antidotes. When craving and grasping in the present lifetime nurture them, you wander through happy or miserable realms under their controls. Arhats have immeasurable projecting karma accumulated when they were ordinary beings, but are free from cyclic existence because they have no afflictions. Once you have reached a firm conviction about this, you will hold the affliction to be um, um, uh, to be enemies, and will make effort to eradicate them. No. So, when speaking about the secular existence, what is important for us to do is now to reverse yourself from the secular existence. You need to first develop a strong or firm disenchantment with secular existence. So again, then we possibly say that why should we generate, intentionally and purposely generate disenchantment towards with secular existence? Because we are fine with it. It's, in fact, we're very happy in this secular existence.
ona patwa donarwa jibo dosana chiragi jiboji yona sane bena 단단가 로 얘기 손주 지증 어질 깔려 저래다 딘츠 기회지 너바나 있지 정도 왜 나가지다.
So then another question. If we think that being in the secular existence is really a wonderful to be, or it is a happy place to be, then you can follow this statement by asking question to yourself: have we really achieved a happiness that we always seek? The level of happiness that we always seek. We have been engaging in all kind of activities for 20 years or 30 years, 40 years, longing to achieve happiness. Have we really achieved the happiness that we are always looking for?
네, 나도 던데 지레서나 어나 잠벌린디 노로라 밑에 땡데 대화 타버려 생이지 접변조 첨보당 당신라 첨보를 아니 저기서에 도배 해서라.
So then not only oneself. Then you can ask the same thing. You can try same question to the others, and by saying that, have we ever found a person who is said to be achieved everlasting happiness or the ultimate state of happiness, regardless of how rich that person may be, how famous that person may be? But it is not possible for such beings who have actually said to be achieved the ultimate state of happiness or the everlasting happiness.
라바동아 소 메시지 인디나 산나도나 로짱아 주루 주되면 저 부그 전에 소화스 게메 받지 제거래. 던지지라 아니 소손디랑한테도 강해지 제거래. 아니 던지기 연구 차선은 수보 코로나 강해지 도는 조도도 알아다.
So our life, if you look at our life, we may have not much concern when we were in a younger, like 15, 16, 17 years. But then when you actually, transcend the teenagers, then you have more burden, and you have more things to be done for your life, and more concerns and so forth. So, so then after that, then our physical condition deteriorate as you age, and that is the one thing that gives a suffering to ourselves.
하나 딘뒤기 강해 고라텔 간데전 타고래. 근데 탑이 더 여려 로사 여려서 좋아도 저거로.
So then you can also ask the question to yourself that is it possible that we can free from that kind of sufferings?
또 단다 강해 용어데 가래 용샤세 따지지. 로.
So then why we are undergoing this kind of suffering? This is the question that you can ask again.
다 주메보마서 원 제부면 되는 용야 그러야 말이로. 제부만 되는 제메보서 그래.
If you are not willing to have this result, such as suffering, we need to first tackle the cause of that result. Without tackling and eradicating the cause, the result is inevitable.
좀 해보서거는 단지로 나게 저때 가르치는 연구도 세디 된데 양라 중에 토미 마리반의 간대 연구도 세야 돼. 아니 고아제는 싸워되는 거고.
So how the cause coming into being then here? So when you ask this question, the actual existence of the cause, then you are asking about the 12, what is meant by the 12 links of dependent originations.
든득이 콜로 쿠치질로 고아질 해요디 든득이 전화 옛날에 코아기 콜로디 저로란 로고비서 지면 되어야살라다.
When you really reflect on this 12 links of dependent originations, and through your reflections, when you come to understand how beings are revolving within this cyclic existence and the actual mode of existence of the cyclic existence, don't we really feel some kind of a desire, develop some kind of desire to free yourself from that kind of existence?
맞아 가르치는 거 가르는 거 그것은 카투사나 도마도로와 아니 마음반 가르 연구는 내가 가르치는 요사세는 따지지는 메전 라바로와.
So we are actually trapped within this cyclic existence. It's not really reflecting upon the cause which give rise to our existence. And we are not really reflecting upon the future, what kind of future life that we may have. It is without lack of knowledge of those two, the previous and the future, we were trapped, confined within this cyclic existence.
최신의 때도 동상이 맞다. 응비네 때도 진짜 말해 되게도 왜라다 저소이. 동도 보지마도.
Do you think when we are going through the teachings of the Dhamma, is it something like story or something that really corresponds to reality? What do you think?
대 동이나 시에바텔 따지 제달라다. 데는 겐데도 대등은 아이체 맞선 때 투스 말아와라다.
If it is a story, then you should see whether this story, the beginning of the story and the end of the story, when you go through the story, and is there any contradiction between those stories?
소수 메시바다 마통베 진세데시네 피게데 메바 켈렘바데 리피 젠다 말레로.
Without knowing, without understanding, if you say there is no non-existence, if you reject, that is not right. And this is not a wise decision to rejecting things.
소스텐도 대화되고 그거나 땡도 연락 주는 거는 코아코지디 시에네 아니 대기 로도 이거나 선호도 아니 대화도 해야지.
So if you really long to achieve everlasting happiness, then we need to know about the sequential order of the cyclic existence. Having understood the sequential order of this sequential order of the cyclic dependent origination, the 12 links of dependent originations, then you should come about an idea of how to reverse that order.
니마 따바리시 칼라 찌찌고 산는데 가르쳐 그래라다.
So then,
칼라 진 점물로 칼라 찌 가되는 산도나.
So if you eat only one kind of food at all time, so what kind of feeling that you will have? Do you think that's really a good idea?
델리 터치는 칼라데스 점물로니 도그라.
So finally, then you become fed up of this food, and then you wanted to change into a different food.
대나기라 사체질 가되는 창전로나 진호스케요 말어.
Similarly, when you go to visit some places, it's always not, it is not suggested to visit at one particular place at all time.
너저 영역 속에 따윈디 대대 집에 진짜 통과래. 코아들 양 레사 양 코아코 양 코사 바 통치랑.
When the wise looked at us as a sentient beings, we are trapped within one place from the innumerable years and then innumerable years to become and so forth. So we are wandering with the same cyclic existence.
Dendri yangla juni sani kwa le tachi de tochu de jeba yin se de dere dani kala ji pe ja song ga di ni chen de del zhuang jie ko.
So one of the supreme methods of freeing oneself from cyclic existence is reflection upon the 12 links of dependent originations, which the understanding of 12 links of dependent originations will enables you to develop a firm disenchantment with cyclic existence.
Dechi dewa ta kyap dindo kyapa pa de me ba le gyawa ta me gyawa de na me ge chong ba de ma chong ba de nga song gi ju la pa chang me ba chi yore la da.
From the innumerable eons that we have accumulated a negative karma, the seed of the negative karma that we have within us cannot be fathomed. It is innumerable. It is vast, like oceans. We're just carrying all those propensities and latencies of negative karma within our mind.
Tanga so le ben penji ji le me gyawa ro chi pe ja na penji ji le me gyawa de me po kan de cha go re se lo ya na ya na na mi jin re bu de mi ne nge song gi jawa len go re ya na ni po ta bi de ne ni za me dong go re de ni ma je chen che la ge ba la so ba ne ro go re sen yi pa cha ngo chen.
If, for instance, if one has accumulated a karma, what you call the projecting karma, projecting negative karma, in other words, if you have accumulated this projecting negative karma, and the result of that karma can be seized, either one face the result, as a one experience the result, or you actually engage in certain practice of what we call the practice of confession or the application of 4 powerful antidotes. Without these two, either ripening this result and you experience the result, or you engage in the practice to eradicate or to purify this negative karma. Otherwise, there's only 2 ways of seizing those results of karma.
Ta nga chong de chi cha ja wa yin na nga chong gi ji ji ni le du cha de ma chong chen bo ji ji cha la na yin le gya wa de ma chong cho bo ji cha la na yin ka jo men jo chong de cha jo song de ni cha de re la.
So if we were to look at our negative karma that we have accumulated, it is like an object of the wealthy people, something that is very valuable that we have inside us. And then if you look at the virtuous karma that we have, it's like the object that belongs to a really and not really a wealthy people, in other words, the poor people object, something that is not valuable at all. So you can compare this to the intensity of the karmic propensity that you have deposited within your consciousness of negative versus positive.
Tin gi le mo bo na ta so so la xian na de chen na ga ri le ge ri lo na ro ta ta gu ro le ten de yang la ju ni gua yin na le de yo so na jiao wan de yong gu du se ge pe gi ne dang ro se de tong so na ro ni le je chang zu chong de na je ma sa che de ro gu ten ki cha gu ro.
So if you understand the 12 links of dependent originations, then you know that if you accumulate such karma, this will give rise to such and such results and so forth. So with this, you will have a natural tendency of refraining from engaging in negative karma.
Ta wana ta ka ri che gu se na ni ta de le mo ro ni po ten me po so ko ro le du ja chen na ni bu to ji le te me po so ko.
So now what we need to do here is now, it is certain that we all have a negative karma within us, innumerable negative karma that accumulated innumerable events. So now how can we really tackle this karma, the karma that we have accumulated? is by engaging in the application of practice of application of antidotes, the four powerful antidotes.
땡에 가르라고 해서는 배는 가서 있는 단대지 소소라 랑서여비 소리지 소소로 되고 소리지 대제로 딘득이 대이 고고여 살아베스로 자장바 있나요 하레 자타 뭐 사생인데 바차 단대 되고야나 가서기 내빌라 레 가서 사야리 단다처럼 가서 저 댕기바 강에 때면도 때메딩 거네 제나 제만 양가 정보질 해서로 세네 샘플을 초화질 해서 말이에요.
So if we really reflect on such things, this will really give some kind of feeling within us. There's some kind of, different sort of, idea should arise within our mind. Because once you have accumulated karma, its result is inevitable, unless you engage in certain practice of application of antidotes and so forth. Otherwise, you will experience those results. And so, oh, sorry. So here, once you have accumulated karma, even the arhats, if you have accumulated the karma in your previous lifetime, but although you may have achieved arhathood at this point, but you still have certain result to be paid off. So let alone that we as ordinary beings, needless to say that our karmic propensities or the latencies are filed up like a Mount Meru.
나촌에 차chen 가르 참고를 해서나 사배 되어서나 디년도라 실내시바게 출리도 뱀뱀을 되대요. 인자네 디긴 레버도 페이지 도도 매번 매일 소리지 차chen 참고하는 거죠.
So our negative karmas are very perfect because the seed itself is a very perfect within us. The negative karma that we have accumulated and the propensity of that karma that is deposited within our continuum is perfect. In other words, it's like a perfect seed ready to give rise to its sprout. Because then why we are saying that is because we have those, the nurturing factor, the seed that we have, and then also at the same time we have a nurturing factor of craving and grasping. It's within us. When the seed is nurtured and conditioned by the craving and grasping, then the sprout is inevitable.
나타 가르쳐 그래서로 인자네 아니 녀모 딘득이 녀모데 제송아이나 아니 코알라 주메체 로도모볼 동해지 나고 니미데 셰네 아니 코이 자와치비 니 단진라 다즈존에 아니 땡고 거선도 고발 쯩고 거선도.
So then what it says in the text is, so now by reflecting upon those karma and delusions and looking at the grasping at self and considering that grasping at self as one's own ultimate enemy and put in effort to really to have in a combat with the grasping at self, as if the grasping at self is our ultimate enemy.
ndela 단지 크게 되었던 렌치자고도 배나 가서 다잠바 하체 다잠바 이나로 제가 다잠바라 풍보다 쟁이기 사진 영화는 풍보다 쟁이기 다잠바다 라미 다잠바 니여라다 하체 다잠바 이나 개바 자타 뭐 사싱에 레다 단다 주포티 생이 바체되는 되는 여라다
하체 다잠바
하체 다잠바.
So here now we spoke about the arhats, right? Because so when speaking about arhat, there are of two kinds. One is the arhat with residue, arhat without residue. Arhat with residues will have a karmic propensity within them. Because once you have accumulated the karma, the potency or the latency of the karma that is deposited within one's continuum will live for eons and eons. unless you engage in certain practice of application of antidotes, or you actually experience the result of the karma and so forth. So long as these two have not done, the propensity or the seed will always remain within our mind.
단지 거기 렌데다. 된주기 자점바 인치 다 간지 파파 터친제라 나 편제제 레도에는 편제게 레되게 저와시마 편바 여마리. 인자에 레코로기 남이 세들면도 줘봐 여줘래. 그러나 단지 매세에 남이 주 풍부 저와시마 편바 여마리스 레정원도 전에.
So so such arhats, although the arhats with residue may experience certain result of his or her karma in previous, but such arhats will not have any, the projecting karma or the negative karma of future life.
단지 그 고소하다. 레 매세데 가르라고 할사단 레 정원도 전에 저번에 봐요 말이. 펜시 진저부 저할 멤버서 말이.
There's no projecting karma of here, no projecting karma of taking rebirth in the miserable realms uncontrollably. That is not there.
때 가르쳐서나 콜로로보 쟁이기 로녀몸에 진세들.
Because such a person has already eliminated the negative deeds, negative thoughts or negative emotions.
맞아. 현지시바 세저로서디 폼보데 가데 메보잖아. 대대ኛ도 레대ኛ도 조로서라고 쳐요. 맞아. 라지라 좀 받으세요. 하나 든들 레대 가능체는 조고르서나 폼보 조바다냐도.
So when the arhats with residue, at the moment his or her continuity, the continuum of his or her, psychophysical aggregate is ceased, then its karmic propensity will be ceased.
딘디게 그 로나기게 남이 코로나랑 센데게 폼보 코로나를 남인데 미네 벳 선이 나오는바나게 메보차로 용초고래. 그 단지 코로나랑 가져 소라제는 메보차스데 용초고를 나다. 콜 동해요 말을 가제.
But there is no suffering. Although such arhats may be experiencing the result, facing the result of his or her karma in previously accumulated karma, but he or she is not undergoing any kind of suffering. That is not there.
근데라 저다 대래 좋은 몸이 진짜세계니 레게 편지 레부미도고 말해. 그럼 해보잖아요.
So although that such individual may experience the result of the karma, but this karma will not become a projecting karma that projects him or her in the future life in such a miserable realms and so forth, because there is no conditioning factor of delusions.
대래 당가서 너디나 녀모세기데 토마사베다 그래. 근데 바든 해지 체체자 그래. 코아코알레 녀모레 가르쳐는 맞잖아.
So the delusions or the mental afflictions enables one to engage in the actions. The actions will leave a propensities or the seeds within our continuum. This seed is then nurtured by the craving and grasping, which the craving and grasping actually act as a cooperative condition for giving rise to its sprout.
나쪽이 드라이나 가다고 그래서 드라니 못다 그래. 아니 대화 가르치는 것에는 녀몸에 비기 대화다고. 나쪽 됐다 두고 말이다.
So we should actually look at our mental afflictions as our enemy, and we should aspire to attain happiness free from delusions, free from mental afflictions. But this is the one thing that is lacking. We are all lacking this kind of aspirations, and we're all lacking to see our delusion as one's enemy, or we are lacking of genuine aspiration to attain happiness without delusions, without afflictions.
녀모도 당시도 영어 수치문도 어디 뇌지 당시 랑게 달롱여지 통해서 거다. 그러와.
when all those negative thoughts and emotions really arises within us and manifest, everything seems to be to us. Everything seems to be an enemy to us. Everything that arises us to be an enemy of one's own self.
맞어 따지지지는 단단 가서 쉬다가 라운드 진행이 좀 수지 야셔거라. 근데지 이거는 소화되들 해도 그러.
So if you look at our day-to-day experience, we talk about I, you, me, self, others, and so forth. So this is our experience, our day-to-day experience, based on this kind of feeling. Our day-to-day experience is based on this kind of feeling.
근트긴 zemba맹이 장식 지메와이나로. 근트긴 zem탕 장식 지메와이나 나다 진행이 여와데 샤오메와이나. 너네 진 가르쳐서리로. 의리 흉금도 안 가서히로.
So if
장식인 zem탕도 자되면은
if we are, just imagine that if you are free from that kinds of thought of I, me, others, and mine and others and so forth. So what kind of feeling that we will have? What kind of experience that we may have if we do not have those things?
근트긴 장식인 zem탕데 매비고네. 아니 피예의 코로나는 짜치면 돼야 돼. 나차라고 지 영원히 받대 시윤디 피jel에 미비 니지 지용도 알아다.
So now here, the important point here is now, when you think about others, or when you think about self, if there is no self that exists in and of itself, if you know that whatever the attachment or aversion that you have generated based on this kind of grasping at self, then you know that not only that yourself, that the others may have the same kind of, of thought of, development of attachment and aversion based on this grasping at self. So when you have this kind of understanding deep down, which then enables you to generate compassion.
변나 소속의 내루 양소도 받아 해봤지로. 파쇼되게 내루 메시네. 양서 전부질에 총로 제거했는데 뭐네 전에 최기 배제대 요구 말에 내받아 생각해로.
For instance, if you know that the very dangerous place when you visit that dangerous place, and there's a cliff that if you fall off that cliff, that's very dangerous for you. It may take your life. And if you know that particular place, and then if you fall off that cliff, then that's not right, and it will really take your life, and you will lose your life. By knowing that, when you see someone on the edge of that cliff, on the verge of that cliff, if someone is about to fall from that cliff, I'm pretty sure that none of us will really let go of that person. We'll take initiative of saving that person, isn't it?
라바도 답기를 세워 길려면 돈 로봇이 제거로. 오늘
Although we may not have a genuine compassion towards that particular person, but we all have a common sense or the general courtesy of helping that person or saving that person's life.
내루 생의 해요나. 로아 장신 타르에 지대바 유쇼다 타니에는 로도. 파쇼데 자존거에 지는면도.
So when you know that's the actual mode of existence of self and others, this will really draw closer, connection to other beings, which enables you to develop sense of connectedness, sense of concern towards others.
땡에 너는 더블이 진도야라다.
Is it something that is unbelievable for you all, or something that really corresponds to reality? How do you think about it? Whatever I said right now, what do you think?
ngubi netsin do chin take do ma do nga nangchul lo jo chen darang re de cheng bendula da.
I always, when I speak about those, particularly of dependent originations, I always think about, I'm speaking about the truth, speaking about the given fact. I do not really think about myself. It's something that is, it is said by, it is said by such and such teachers and so forth, and I'm just following a religious, and not just a religious belief, but rather I always feel that I'm speaking the fact, the given fact. So now here, the crucial thing that you need to understand is to have this, to come to understand the reality or come to understand the given fact is to understanding of what we call of cause and effect, the law of cause and effect. So we all have the liberty to analyze ourselves, whether whatever I said really corresponds to reality or it's something just belief. So here the sole purpose of engaging in the practice of the Dhamma is to subdue our mind, subdue our negative state of mind, or pacify our negative state of mind to achieve the ever-lasting state of peaceful mind. So in order to do that, there are primarily two kinds of practice, the two camp of practitioners. One camp of practitioner who follows the faith tradition, who is based on his or her irreversible faith when engages in the practice and to subdue their mind. And there's another kind of other camp of practitioner whose practice is not based on faith alone, but based on reasonings. So there are two kinds, whichever the camp that you belong to. But what is the important part for you is to understand that your practice is to really to subdue and pacify your negative state of mind.
But Yapo Jesho send Soso Pami Laja said Yapo Chende Jero. Kora Yapo Chevarimado, no Jeton Agendo Yapo Dende Chichimato. That you will be near the Taji in Yapondo, Yapo Chebicana, no Agendo.
So here, the important part is here now to using your intellect to really to understand, to analyze carefully when one is following the practice, when one is engaging in the practice. This will allow you to develop the wisdom which enables you to understand the ultimate nature of reality, the actual mode of existence. But just by believing and having faith will not really help you to develop an authentic or the genuine wisdom.
Thank you, 또 게시부중 미 로그인 상상치바 돌아셔요. 게시부중에서 가담의 게시부중에서 땡진 대원 중에 야라 진인본 데니라 로장 제진에서 랑린양 대인 동주 셈바 랑란 제도스 대양인주 야라 진인진주도 셈바네 주부중에 조고연라스 데네 덴디 야라 진인진주도 셈바네 주변진게 조고 대답이 랑이 냥라 빠네 마주비 선전나 양라 진이지 고네 코와 창발라 샴바도 니지제 데스 데네 된도 상제 터번 상제 통대 조와 대이 랑라 러번에 주부침비 추고의 체도 되죠.
So let's read through this text and then we'll stop. So it is the last paragraph of page 323. With regard to this, the great spiritual friend Pochungwa engaged in mental training based solely on the 12 factors of the dependent arising and made the stages of the path simply a reflection on the progression through the cessation of these factors. That is, he explained, the reflection on the progression through the cessation of the 12 factors of the miserable realm is the teachings for the person of small capacity, and the reflection on the progression through the cessation of the 12 factors of the two happy realms is the teachings of the person of medium capacity. The teachings for the persons of the great capacity is to access their own situation according to these two practice of person of small and medium capacities. They then develop love and compassion for living beings who have been their mothers and have wandered through cyclic existence by way of the 12 factors, train themselves in which to become a Buddha for the sake of these beings, and learn the path to this end.
당가서 되는다. 아니 뒤 단답받을 때는 연락 주니 지마 지전데 메시네네 고알에 창샤지로. 다 때는 연락 주니 대라니 시바시네 때데 대화타 바시. 아니 대라 때는 마게 선전나. 아니 때데 대화타 바지 영원 쇼 제는 바지 되나 쇼베 라마나지 신절로도 수사. 되는情况다.
So up until now, we wandered within this cyclic existence without understanding the 12 factors of dependent originations. And so now, I'll do my best to engage in the practice and put in effort to understand the 12 links of dependent originations. Having understood that, I will, try myself to gain the state of liberations and lead others to the state of liberations. May all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions to bless me to be able to do this.
若月一直明报四些年，教育等报有人真就起，等报人情就给忙就报，就将娘报就别说的呢，你就全部一让就报一。偏地代代是我先报修，世间教育民众成来来，列住相处浪就人别讲，浪就一浪别的心，教育自保人都穷就急，浪上主别天见主西经。夜间世界门当明明君，才绕君都教育我报业，难道浪当这我忙就急，刚才太把出了去世界，最近住了尊把地月财，土地难就大都主西经。扎西将此修根超究极，南明国在绕定经，南高成来修真结巴当，罗上殿别之面萨松节，卓越民生大都能究极。上月过月心光祖，别当的我马律中月内，新日在往定真叫作业，小别心地八度定究极，八月知道千八当，更多上报天阳地见的。天道根觉结束道路线，业王的道当结绕度我，对送西边家王当结结，我看了就多我把的，大心给月早晚的根讲，上不学习绕度我。